going to keep up to speed.
Yeah. Yo. Yeah, audio should be good.
We're live.
All right, we are live.
Sheesh.
Over here with a ATM.
Yes.
ATM world, man. We're having a ton of technical difficulties, okay? So if you're rewatching this, then, yeah, man, I mean, just some massive technical difficulties. I mean, okay. But it's all good. We're here, and we're fired up, and obviously a lot of you guys are probably watching this, at a later time anyways, so not too big of a deal. We do have quite a few questions about the ATM business, and that's why we kind of wanted to just hop on here, go live, and answer any questions that obviously you might have. So, we can just kind of get rocking and rolling with questions. We are actually live on Instagram right now as well, and then we do have questions that people have asked us over the last few weeks. And so we're just going to kind of jump right into it, I guess. What is our first question that we have, Austin? By the way, this is going to be saved on my channel. This is my partner, Austin Lewis. A lot of you guys know who he is. But yeah, we own a couple of different companies together, and obviously the ATM company being one of them. So let's jump right into it, man. What do we got here?
I love it, dude. So obviously first one being a question. I'm going to be paying attention also to my live stream on my actual Instagram. But the first question is obviously one, why do we even get into the ATM business?
Yeah. 100%. You want to go for that one?
Yeah. So honestly, it's kind of funny. It's a funny story, and we also tell this in our course. But and really, we just share this with everybody. Yeah. But why we got into the ATM business? It was honestly on accident. Austin was sitting at. I remember like it was literally yesterday, dude. It was a year and a half ago. We didn't know anything about anything in the ATM business. We didn't even know how to purchase an ATM. We didn't even know how to install an ATM. We didn't know even how much an ATM costs. We thought like 10 grand. And Austin calls me. He's like, "Hey, bro, I'm getting my hair cut right now." And I'm like, okay. He's like, "Are you ready for our new business?" And I'm like, "What's that?" And he's like, "Hey, let's buy an ATM." And literally, I want to say probably not even a week later, I knew the fact that. He wanted to get an ATM in this barbershop that he was in. He's like, dude, they do all cash. It's probably going to be a decent location. And I started doing some research. I started reaching out to some of our connections and people. And literally that was it. Literally, that's where it started. I remember we got the ATM. We filled it with our own money, which we put in 6 to 8 grand into the ATM ourselves. We didn't know how much that was. We didn't know if that was a lot. We didn't know if that was a little bit. We didn't know like anything about that. And I just remember month after month after month after month kept going by, and Austin goes, what are these deposits, right? Because we run multiple different companies, multiple different businesses out of one like actual bank account that's all connected to all of our companies. And he's like, what's this like $653 a month or this $575 a month? If you guys are on my actual live stream, go to Austin Zabak's YouTube really quick. Go watch it on YouTube. Austin Zabak, Zaback. Go watch it on YouTube, guys. And we're like, I have no idea what these $550 charges are. I have no idea what these $600 charges are, or not charges, but deposits, right? And he says, okay, let me call you right back. Right, so this is the numbers, dude. This dude is killer at numbers, and he calls me back. He's like, Austin, no kidding. And at this time, we just had locked down another location, so we had 2 ATMs a year and a half ago. And he's like, dude, this is our ATM that we have in this barbershop. I didn't even realize that. And so we're like, holy smokes, it's been like 4 or 5 months. Like our ATM cost us, it was like $2,800 to get it installed completely, rocking and rolling. And he's like, dude, like. We've been making $500 to $700 a month every single month passively just on our money. And literally that's how originally
it all started.
Yeah, that's literally how it started.
Super crazy. Okay, so we got another question coming in from who?
Chase.
How many ATMs do you guys have? So right now we have about I think a little over 100. And basically we'll probably talk about this a little bit more in a minute, but we actually our portfolio right now is actually like 50-50. So we don't actually own all of our hardware, okay? So there's actually a lot of creative ways to do the ATM business, and I don't think a lot of people understand that. What I mean by that is obviously like I would look at the ATM business like the real estate business, right? If you're familiar at all with real estate, then you'll know that everything is negotiable, right? In the real estate world, I think the reason that a lot of people are drawn to the world of real estate is that there's 100 different ways that you can do real estate, right? And it's all negotiable. You control the real estate. You control the paperwork a lot of the times people make literally hundreds of millions of dollars or millions or hundreds of thousands by literally controlling the paper, right? And obviously we've been able to crack the code in the ATM business on controlling the paper. So I would say probably over 50 ATMs, we just control the paper. We make 20, 30, 40, 50% of every single surcharge, and we do not own the hardware, meaning we do not actually own the ATM, and we do not put our own cash into it, right? We actually leverage other people's cash and other people's money to buy the actual hardware, the ATM itself, and we make anywhere from 20 to 50% of every surcharge by negotiating that deal. Very similar to real estate. So that's kind of just give you an idea of how many ATMs we own. We own probably another 50 or so ATMs where we own the hardware and we supply the ATM with the cash. Okay, phenomenal question, Chase. The other question is, how much money do you need? Right, that has got to be. We should have almost started there. It's got to be the most common question in the ATM world. And believe it or not, if you got anything from what I just said, the key points. This question we've actually kind of already answered, but I'll let you go ahead and kind of just briefly touch on that one again, Austin.
I like it.
How much money do you need?
I like it. So obviously we've built our portfolio, and this is what's so cool is it's so diverse. Like our portfolio is, we've sold the machine, we've installed the machine, and we just earn a percentage of the machine. And they fill it, they load it, and they gave us a check for the ATM machine, right? Mm-hmm. That's obviously way one. Way two is you own the machine, you also fill the machine, and you earn majority of the surcharge, right? Then the second way is obviously you own the hardware, you own the real estate, and that business, that company, that's whatever it is, right, actually fills the machine to where you are completely hands off. You just let your money work for you, and then at the end of the day, that you're able to split that surcharge with that business or that location. To give them the incentive to actually fill your guys' machine, right? So, this question is so diverse because our portfolio is so diverse because we've been able to do it multiple different ways. The one way is, you could start with literally $0.
Yeah.
You can start with no money. You could get into the ATM business with no money, or you can get into the ATM business with all of the money in the world.
Yep.
So that question is like so hard for me because there's so many. It's just like real estate, right? That's why we love it so much, is because it's so diverse and there's so many creative ways to make so much money, right? Like for example, we getting into a dispensary we've gotten into. We've provided the machine. We don't provide the cash. We don't do anything. We earn 55 cents a transaction. This dispensary does 5,500 transactions on a monthly basis. 55 cents times 5,500 transactions on a monthly basis. Do the math, right? So people saying oh, Austin, it takes this much money, or Austin, it takes this much money. Austin, it takes this much money to get into the ATM business. Like, people just assume that they have to pay for the machine. They got to buy 10 machines. It's going to cost them 25 grand or 30 grand. And then they got to put in their cash, another 10, 20, 30 grand in each machine, whatever. Like, you can start with no money, and you can also start with all of the money in the world, right? It just depends on what it is that you're going for your ATM business.
Right, and then learn that role, right? Like, learn that role in the company. If you're a master negotiator, like, you're good at negotiating, you're good at people, you might not need a lot of money. Like, you could straight up, like, just pick up the phone and you could dial locations all around the world that need an ATM. And if you're good enough on the phone and you know what you're talking about, you literally don't need any money. So just understanding that and understanding that it is all negotiable, right? How creative can you get? And how knowledgeable are you in the actual business itself? Okay, so phenomenal question. I like that a lot. I mean, I think a lot of people watching this, automated teller machine, like, you hear that word and you just assume money. So I think automatically people they eliminate themselves from the industry by just the flat out assumption of, hey, this is going to cost a lot of money to get into. And I think it is really similar to real estate, right? How many people do you know that don't get involved in real estate because of the simple fact that they think it costs a lot of it? You got to buy the house, you got to fix and flip the property, you got to have $500,000 to do the deal and pay for the rehab, and it's like, no, there's hard money lenders, right? You can get 100% of it. You can do wholesale real estate. You literally just put the earnest money deposit down. You never actually even buy the deal. So same thing with the ATM business, 100%. What's another question we got here?
Can we do deals with you?
Can you do deals with us? Yes, we can.
Yes.
We'll 100% do deals with you. Anywhere in the world, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, anywhere in the world where they do freaking ATMs. We ain't doing it in Russia, okay? But hey, if you guys have ATMs in your country, obviously the United States and Canada, we for sure do. Then yes, we will do ATM deals with you. And I would just say it's probably a per situation basis. It depends on obviously the location that you have in mind where you want the ATM installed. And then what you need from us, is it experience? Is it knowledge? Is it wisdom? Is it money? Mm-hmm. Is it negotiation skills? Is it the contract? I mean, at the end of the day, there's only so many moving pieces in the business model, obviously. So, just hit us up on Instagram, hit us up on YouTube, drop in the comments section down below of this video, whether you're watching it live or you're watching it on replay at Austin Zabek and at Austin Liz. We'll put everything in the description. You don't have to worry about that right now. But yeah, reach out to us and we will absolutely partner. Real quick, let's look at a couple of the ones that we have live here on the screen. We do have more sitting in front of us right now. How do you all get leads on autopilot, as I saw on your story? Mm-hmm. So they're referring to, Enrique's referring to, he saw my Instagram story and I had a picture or a post that we did, we were just getting leads on autopilot. We own a marketing company, right? Yeah. So at the end of the day, we own a marketing company. It's something else that we do that we actually own together. And, it really is simple. Basically what we've done is we've actually just ran like Facebook and Instagram ads to different, like store owners and stuff like that. We've also done email campaigns. So we'll just send out like cold emails to people, like barbershops, nail salons, nightclubs, things of that nature, places basically where there's like high volume of cash transactions on average, like national averages, and then we'll just send out cold emails, we'll run ads, you can obviously cold call, you can text, and you can obviously outsource a lot of that. So, what we've done obviously is that what you're referring to is where we've actually paid other people and have had other people help us do that. Obviously, we're not the people that are sending out those emails and stuff like that. So, if you're watching this, you could hire somebody, you could get a VA to do that for you, or you could do it yourself. Totally up to you on that. I'll let you get the next one, Austin. Let's see here. Since you always need to fill ATMs with cash, how do your ATMs run when you're on a holiday or getaway? That's a good question.
That is a really good question. Yeah. Fill them more.
Yeah.
That's one. And again, that is if you are filling your machines, right? Austin and I kind of talked about it. Obviously, if you're, we recommend having partners in the ATM business. Don't do it alone. Obviously, that's why we offer our our ATM mastery course, because you're able to partner with different people that are interested in this niche, that actually have a vested interest in moving forward as partners in the ATM business, and just understanding that, depending on how you want to build your portfolio is depending on, if you're going to be worrying during the holidays if you need to be filling your ATM with more or if you don't, right? Austin and I kind of understood that, growing our portfolio of ATMs, that, 100% we wanted a certain amount of ATMs, right? In this business, we wanted a certain amount of ATMs in this business that we wanted to fill ourselves, right? Obviously now at this point, this current point, it's gotten to the point where we have our employee actually for our ATM business actually filling our ATMs, other than the ones that we just do for fun, because we enjoy it. It's all cash. It's a lot of cash. We enjoy it, so we do a couple of them. But with that, we said, hey, with the first day we sat down, I said, Austin, how many ATMs do we personally want to fill? What is our goal? Understanding that, we're going to make 90% of the surcharge. We're going to make 90% of the profits. Yeah, we're going to supply the hardware, and yeah, we're going to supply the cash, but how many ATMs do you want? What kind of revenue do you want to be bringing in on a daily, on a monthly, on a weekly basis in order for that ATM portfolio to make the most money? So we talked about that, and then it's like, okay, hey, now we want to go to the beach in Cancun. We want to chill there for a month. Now we want to go start traveling. Now we want to start going and doing this. Yep. So Austin, how do we want to start building our ATM portfolio? And he's like, well, okay, let's just buy the hardware, let's own the real estate, and let's get the business to then start loading the machines. We're negotiating with the business, and this is why it's so much like real estate. This is why we absolutely crush it. This is why we have so much fun doing it. This is why we love teaching it and showing people how to do this, is because it's all negotiating, right? Yep. At the end of the day, you can build your entire ATM portfolio, you can build your entire business on never loading one of your machines.
Yeah. Which I think is another misconception.
Yes.
I think you just actually brought up another conversation really quick. How many people are doing Shopify, Amazon FBA, work from home industries, and they assume that the ATM business, well, hey, I don't want to do that because I want to go to frickin' Bali, right? I want to go to Thailand and I want to travel and I can't be hands-on. Well, okay, then you got to take a different approach, right? You need to build a virtual ATM business, okay? And it's 100% doable, right? So, you got to eliminate that thought process right away, and you got to start to build a virtual ATM business. I mean, the other option, obviously, depending on how big you want to get, is if you want to own the real estate and you want to load the cash, then you just hire somebody to go put the cash in it for you, okay? You literally hire them as an employee, get a limited insurance policy that covers the cash, so you're not always worried while you're drinking your freaking margarita, okay, sitting on the beach, but you just have somebody go load that for you. It's really not the end of the world, and it's not a big deal. But in either scenario, it is 100% doable. And again, it really just comes down to having an open mind and understanding that everything is negotiable. If you're watching this right now, stay to the end of the video, okay? And hear us out, because we're being very serious when we say, hey, look, if we can do it, so can you. And the reason we're making this video is because we truly believe that. And we wouldn't be here if we didn't. So, and then real quick, mid-video, smash this freaking like button. If you are watching this thing on replay, make sure to subscribe, okay? Because, ultimately we're going to bring you guys a lot more value if you like this style of video. So let's jump right into it. What do we got here? Go ahead.
Biggest mistake you can make in the ATM business.
Dude, there's a couple of them. There's a couple of them. What mistakes have we made over the last year?
Well, first of all, not scaling fast enough.
Yeah. So thinking too, what do they say? Not thinking big enough soon enough.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Thinking that we had to have all the money in the world to be able to go and run these ATMs.
Sure. Yeah, no, 100%. That's definitely a big mistake that we made. And I would say even to this day, I mean, it's still, obviously, we run different companies, and we're there, we're over here, and we're over there, and, we're always trying to figure out that happy medium. I mean, obviously, this is a business where the money is pretty much passive income. I mean, there's really no such thing as actual passive income. It doesn't really, I mean, like, if you actually think about it, everything requires a little bit of your time, no matter how passive it might seem. But yeah, I mean, thinking bigger sooner is definitely a big one. I'm trying to think if there's any other big ones that we've made. I mean, in all honesty, I think probably...
the reason I like this, sorry to interrupt, is there's really no mistake.
Right. You learn as you go.
And some people are like, okay, well, Austin, and we get this is probably one of our most popular questions. Okay, you land a machine in an area, in a salon, in a barber shop, and we can talk about locations after this, and in a dispensary, and in a swap meet, or at a fair, or a grocery store, or a gas station, or something like that. What if it doesn't do transactions?
Yeah, you relocate it.
Like most people I feel like the ATM business is so simple, and this is why 99% of people won't get into it. Because it's so simple that most people overcomplicate that, kind of like we did to begin with. We overcomplicated it, and so like it kind of was a little bit slower of a venture, obviously, until recently over the last 8 to 12 months. But you kind of overcomplicate the fact that if you put your ATM, make a contract that benefits you. Right?
It leads in your direction.
It leads in your direction. At the end of the day, people are still going to need the ATM. If people want an ATM, they're going to get an ATM, right? Especially a free ATM that you can negotiate with. And so, putting your ATM in a location that is honestly probably your biggest risk. Your biggest risk is putting an ATM.
You're buying a piece of hardware.
Exactly.
And you're putting it out there. Right? Like, okay, well, I hope I make an ROI. But it's no different than buying a piece of real estate and saying, I hope I get a renter. Right? Like, what if this thing doesn't rent? You know what I mean? I'm going to go buy this house, and what if I don't rent the damn thing? What if it stays vacant for 5 months? Okay, so it's the same thing. I would say there's way less risk.
100%.
And I mean, that's, like, for you and I to say that, I mean, look, guys, we do real estate, okay? We're wholesaling in multiple different markets around the United States of America. We've done fix and flip deals, and we're actively pursuing rental income properties, right? Whether that be multifamily or single family homes. So for us to sit here and say on a live stream, hey, the ATM business is more lucrative than the real estate business is take a mental note of what we're actually saying there, because we do both, and real estate is extremely popular, and we genuinely do love the real estate model. I got a good one over here, Austin, if we want to do this one really quick. I kind of like this one. How dangerous is it to fill your own ATMs when you have cash on you? What are a couple of things that we've kind of figured out and obviously talked about over the last year? I think the biggest one is just doing doubles, right? Running doubles. take a buddy with you, right? Take somebody with you. Anytime we go out, me and Austin, we're not really filling the majority of our ATMs now. We have a lot of help, and a lot of our portfolio is virtual. But we do, when we go out, man, we look out for each other, okay? Look, you need to understand one thing for sure. For the most part, you're in like a Circle K, you're in a barber shop, right? You're in a whatever, okay? Like, you're not an armored truck. Like if you're just driving up to a location in a Tacoma, Toyota Tacoma truck, pickup truck, regular car, regular whatever, the likelihood of another person assuming that you're just freaking loaded with $1 million and it's worth actually committing murder or something like that, or something serious is basically pretty unlikely. Obviously anything can happen, but anything can happen walking your dog too. So just take it into account. Be safe. Take safety precautions. Take a buddy with you. Have somebody when you're down, when your head is in that ATM. Okay, you're down in the ATM. I got him typically just hanging out. 5-10 feet behind me. He's just hanging out, right? At the end of the day, it is never worth any amount of money to put your life at stake. So if at any point in time Austin says, hey, there's a situation, people are walking towards the door, we're out of there, right? We're out of the back door. Again, it's never gotten to that point. We hope that it never will, but we're gonna leave the money in that at that point, right? The money's staying there, we're out of there. So but I don't think it's such a rare occasion. Like it's just never gonna happen. Again, when you hear the horror stories, it's a Brinks truck rolling up in front of a freaking bank. People know what day that Brinks truck is rolling up because they think they're smart and they're trying to anticipate the schedule, right? And they got this whole thing mapped out with they're actual robbers. Okay, so for the most part, I would say.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And I mean, just having some common sense.
Yeah.
People get lazy. Just Brinks does it too. We're not downplaying those guys. All of the armored truck services, they get lazy. They think they just go in repetitive mode. They go in the robot mode. And it is what it is. But again, it's also 2019. You're not going to walk into that barbershop and some guy's getting his hair cut and he's just going to pull out a Glock on you. You know what I mean? Like it could happen. Don't get us wrong, but the chances of it happening are just just
rare.
Be so you're always carry it in a money bag. If you are filling the ATM, a money bag, like you can't hold more than 10 grand in a money bag. Like nobody's gonna do anything insanely crazy. You know what I mean? Over 8 grand, 4 grand, 6 grand to fill an ATM. People are semi smarter than that nowadays. Obviously, you've heard of the other stories of people doing something, but at the end of the day, like just be smart. You know what I mean? While your partner is in the ATM and he's filling it. I turn around, I do this all the time. I have conversations with everybody. If they're getting their haircuts or if they're pulling out their, they're getting their dub sags or whatever it is, like, you know what I mean? Or they're grabbing their monster or something. Like, you just have conversations with them. Just let them know that on the outside of things that you are aware of what's going on. Obviously, you can be strapped if you want to, but that's the least of your of your worries.
It really is. I got a really good one here, Austin. I like this one a lot, and I definitely want to cover it in this video. What are some of the downsides of the ATM business? Basically, they're asking, with digitalization becoming more apparent and cash business is dwindling, we talk about this one a lot. What are some of those downsides? I'll just cover on it real quick, and then I'm going to get Austin's opinion. First and foremost, here's what you need to remember, right? It's 2019. There's credit cards, there's debit cards, and it might be a thought to you that, hey, look, cash is going away, man. Bitcoin, cryptocurrency, Litecoin, frickin' Ethereum, okay, this is a new way of the world. We're going to buy real estate with Ethereum and Bitcoin and Litecoin and blah, 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 blah. To a certain degree, maybe not. Nobody really knows, first of all, okay? First and foremost, let's address the fact at hand that, hey, everything's subjective and everything is a personal opinion of somebody, right? Nobody actually can predict the future. Our opinion is, and I'm going to speak for Austin on this and then get his opinion at the end, is that, guys, you're not after Rodeo Drive, okay? Like, if you're familiar, right? California, Rodeo Drive, you're probably not after an ATM right there. You're probably after lower to middle class, okay, income, and just straight up. I mean, a lot of these people, they're using cash, okay? Whether you like it or not, cash isn't going to go anywhere with that bracket of American citizens, okay, or any citizen where an ATM is allowed for that matter. At the end of the day, the cost of having a debit account, okay, a checking account and a savings account, the amount of penalties and stuff, a lot of times people just don't want to use their debit or credit card, right? They just want to pull out the cash and they want to spend the cash as they go. And there's a lot of other reasons too, people just use cash straight up. Like, you could actually Google right now. I was actually doing this the other day. ATMs, like statistically speaking, this is a fact. Is I think that business is up like 2 or 3% on the year. So it's not going anywhere, right? There's about 425,000 privately owned ATMs in the United States of America, okay, that are not owned by banks or credit unions. They're owned by guys and girls just like you and just like us. And at the end of the day, it is just simply not going to go anywhere anytime soon. And what? By the time, in my opinion, that it were to go somewhere, dude, you've already made your money. We're talking 10, 20 years. Things are moving fast, but if you really take a step back, they're not moving that fast. Okay.
Sorry.
No, go ahead. I was gonna say people are still driving freaking diesel semi trucks down the road.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
And just to add on that, yes, crypto is a thing. Yes, cryptos come fast. But at the end of the day, majority of reasons why people use cash is because somebody like myself, somebody like somebody else, somebody like that salon, like that barbershop, like the dispensaries, they can't even take debit or credit cards, right? And then guess what? They're not going to take crypto.
They don't want to.
And here's another reason why they're not going to take the debit card, because they're doing a point of sale, which means they're on their tip that you're leaving a $5 tip, they're paying a 3% on that.
3 to 5%.
Yeah.
And
even crypto.
Yeah, 100%.
To send you Bitcoin
costs money.
It costs us both
money. Well, hey, here's another thing, and hopefully, take this with a freaking grain of salt. But there's a lot of these barbers and stuff. They don't want to freaking show all that income on their tax report. Well, guess what? Second somebody slides their card, that's freaking. You got to declare that with the IRS. Now, I'm not saying good or bad, but I'm just saying that I know for a fact that there's a lot of industries out there, they don't want to declare all that income. I know barbers that make $100,000 a year. I'd be really surprised if they showed the IRS they're making 20 grand.
100%.
Again, it's just, it is what it is, okay? So, if you're watching this right now and you're the Internal Revenue Service, go after them, not us. You know what I mean?
I got a good one for you, and this just kind of popped up. This is another question that we probably get extremely obvious. It's on my live stream as well. How much money do we make per ATM?
Yeah. It was all over the board for you and I personally.
Yeah.
But we got places like frickin' markets, in different Hispanic communities, all the way to strip clubs, nightclubs, and dispensaries like medical marijuana dispensaries. I would say if you guys want a safe industry standard, okay, safe amount, you could just assume, hey, if you land a good location, you know what you're doing. You're going to make, on average, $300 to $500 per month in pure profit. Okay, take home to you.
And that's average.
After everything's said and done, it's average. Now, we have ATMs that are doing anywhere from $2,000 to $5,000 a month in profit. Results are not typical. And then we have ATMs where we've landed before and we've had to, after 90 days, they've done $100 in profit. And what have we done? Like we talked about Larago, we've taken that freaking piece of hardware and we've moved it somewhere else. We've called the owner. We said, hey, look, it's not doing any freaking trannies. Okay, not doing any transactions. That probably didn't sound too good. It's not doing any transactions. Okay, we're gonna move this We're gonna move our piece of hardware, right? Straight up. We do it all the time. All right, what we got all kinds of questions. We'll probably do this for another 5-10 minutes or something like that.
Let's do it. If you guys got any questions on my live,
hey, if you guys are getting value out of this, again, real quick, smash that like button. Click that subscribe button down below and just leave us a comment. If you're watching this on replay, leave us a comment. Okay, if you're watching it on live right now, we're picking at random. We're going through here. We want to debunk a lot of the myths. Okay, I remember how many times, by the way, really quick, and then we're going to jump right back into it. Stay tuned, by the way. How many times have people told us not to make the videos? We've gotten told today, don't make the videos. Don't post on Instagram. Don't freaking teach people how to do the ATM business. You're going to freaking, all these people now are going to be your competition. Okay, guys, we live in a place of abundance. Yeah. And I would say, at its simplest form, that is why we've chosen not to listen to those type of people. We've had a lot of close people come to us and tell us not to give this kind of value to the general public.
Yep.
Okay, there's not a lot of people doing this, so we just hope that you really appreciate that. Okay, do you have any other questions? We got a lot over here.
Yes, we do. Let's transition.
We got one question. I mean, we could just touch on this real quick. Would you ever get into crypto ATMs? And I would say really the answer right now is we don't know enough about the industry. Plain and simple, right?
Not in the U.S.
Yeah,
in China and in Japan and places like that potentially.
Yep.
Or Hong Kong for sure.
You got to understand what you're investing in.
Yeah, but not,
right?
not the U.S.
Ricky's going to tell you the same thing. Okay. Anybody in different industries are going to say, hey, look, before you get into real estate, before you get in the ATM business, learn about it, right? Understand what you're doing. At the end of the day, we have pretty good knowledge in multiple different industries. Cryptocurrency ATMs at this current time, we don't have enough knowledge, and nor do we think it is necessary to transition our focus to something other than what is already working, right? Keep it simple, okay? All right, let's see here.
Are you offering a coaching program on this?
Okay, how coaching? Yeah, we do a lot of coaching. Description down below. That's not the reason we made this video, so we're not gonna put a ton of emphasis on our program. Okay, but if you're interested, it is down below. Definitely check it out. I got one right here. This is good. How feasible is it to advertising your ATM space, and is advertising specified in the ATM lease or the ATM contract? So. Well, there's multiple different ways. Maybe you want to touch on that. I mean, you got the actual, depending on the ATM, you have like a high song. Will do. You can actually do an ad on the machine.
On the machine.
You can do a wrap, magnets, and we got a high topper.
High toppers. Yeah.
So I mean.
Yeah, so I mean, there's a bunch of different ways. That's why it's so lucrative, and that's why it's an obsession. Really.
Yeah.
Right. So you can have the ATM without a high topper. For those of you that follow us on Instagram or Capital ATMs on Instagram, we promote the high toppers. We love the high toppers. We make money on the high toppers in multiple different ways, just like the ATMs. But obviously, it's a little bit more sexier for that person to come, with those high toppers. But if you just have an ATM, you can actually run an ad on the screen. Obviously, get with the person that sold you the ATM, whether it was us or somebody else, to have that ad. You can actually wrap an ATM. Yes, you can literally wrap an ATM. You can wrap an ATM, whatever it is that you want for advertising. And then, of course, lastly, you can do the toppers, right? The toppers are anywhere from $550 to $600. I do not know if that is completely shipped yet. Obviously, I haven't.
No, we haven't shipped a ton of them.
No, we have not shipped.
We've shipped them with the ATMs.
With the ATMs, but we've not done it. We've only done it here in Phoenix, Arizona. Obviously, our barbershop in Virginia Beach is going to come with a topper. Yep. We can get back to you guys on what the shipping of that costs us. But obviously toppers, right? And in the contracts, we really don't have a whole lot about advertisements.
No.
Just that this is our machine, and you're not going to be advertising on our machine, right? We come to some of our machines, and they got like their stickers or like there's something on top of the machine. Obviously, we just take them off because we like to keep our machines super clean, super nice. Yep. And then obviously some of the machines that we do have wrapped, we haven't wrapped, so they can't even do that. But all of our machines have our toppers, and we are in control on what is on top of our toppers and what ads are showing on our toppers, right? So, do you have anything to add to that?
No, that's basically it. Again, everything is negotiable, right? We've closed bigger deals on people advertising with our ATMs and our different toppers and all sorts of different things. And to be honest with you, we haven't even achieved close to our goals and stuff either. Obviously, we've had a pretty good amount of success in the industry, but we're every day, right? We're closing new business, we're closing new deals, and we're always figuring out more ways to maximize the profit on one particular ATM. Excluding, obviously, the obvious being the surcharge, okay?
What are the best locations?
Yeah, best locations. Gosh, I mean, there's probably about 5 or 10 that are really good. Barbershops.
Yep.
Strip clubs, nightclubs.
Dispensaries.
Medical marijuana dispensaries.
Salons.
Fairs, state fairs. So you like the mobile ATM stuff, okay? We made a video on that. So you could do like mobile ATMs. You could even take regular ATM out there. You just gotta like chain it up and make sure you do it the right way. We're actually about to do a couple of those events in the next like month. There's like 6. There's like we do like parking swaps, right? So swap meets depending on hotels. Hotels are very good. Malls are very. We have a couple of strip malls.
A couple of strip malls.
There's all kinds of freaking places, man.
All cash places.
All cash places.
Cash places. We have in the wall units that is by a lot of foot traffic.
Bars are very good. Yep. Yeah, you can do wall units like exterior. So like the place of business never shuts down. So people like drive up like on the outside of a nightclub or something like that where people can actually pull up and use them late at night. Yeah, I would say
liquor stores.
Liquor stores are very good.
Gas stations.
Yep. Yeah, gas stations are really good. 7-Eleven, Circle K's are good.
This is free value, dude.
Yeah,
Holy
dude,
cow.
this is freaking...
Sheesh.
Guys, if you aren't getting something from this, I don't know what to tell you.
What banks do we use?
In terms of...
For the average person getting into the ATM business, what bank do they use?
ATM bank or the bank that they're actually going to do their...
The bank that they're going to get their deposits in.
You know, we've used different banks, right? So Wells Fargo is probably one of the better ones. You know, look, banks don't love the ATM business, okay? Obviously, it is easy to recycle, like, laundered money. Or you can launder money, I mean, right? So, like, dirty money, okay? The ATM business, in theory, if you were, you know, somebody that was, you know, like, I don't even know. But, you know, so for obvious reasons, their banks don't love the business model. However, don't let that scare you away. There's multiple different banks that will bank with you. Wells Fargo is pretty good about it. Comerica is pretty good about it. We actually did, this is like really good value, guys. Comerica is very good. And then there's a lot of online banks that will do virtual vault. They'll do an actual virtual vault with you, and basically they'll actually deliver the money to you, and rather than you actually going and pulling out the money from the actual branch itself. And I would just do a little bit of online research, and you're going to find multiple different banks that will do the virtual vault with you. Yep. Yeah, and I wouldn't worry too much about it until you're big enough for it to matter. So if you just want to make an extra, because look, a lot of people that get in the ATM business, they just want to make an extra $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 a month, and that is a very viable business model, right? You know, maybe you work a 9 to 5, and you want to pay your freaking mortgage and your car payment. Okay, look, 2 or 3 ATMs, you could very easily do that. Yep. And you don't need to probably get too crazy with all this stuff. I mean, like you could land 2 or 3 ATMs in the next week, and you're ready to rock and roll. I mean, you got a 5-year contract on that thing if you want, and you have an actual stability there. Okay, yeah. What's like 1 or 2 more questions you think here? Get some freaking good ones.
Approaching a business.
Yeah, you take that one.
I mean, approaching a business is simple. Most people overcomplicate it. Every time I walk into a business, I'm seeing the traffic. I'm seeing how many people are coming. I'm asking questions. I'm being a friend. We're being friends. You know what I mean? Like, it's almost common sense. Like, hey, I'm in this. I'm getting my, you know what I mean? I'm getting a pedicure, or I'm going to, that's kind of funny, actually. I'm going to get a drink, and I'm sitting down, and I'm like, weird. They don't have an ATM. So I go ask, hey, you know, who's the right person to talk to that, you know, to get an ATM inside your guys' venue for completely free. My company does it for free. Obviously, we're always leveraging somebody else, so it's not like I'm the guy, but I got a partner. He's the guy, right? My partner is usually not there. Or if we are together, it's like, hey, we got partners here. You know, who's the right person to talk to getting an free ATM inside your guys' location? And people are so receptive of it. It's pretty much common sense. Like, do you think that this place needs an ATM? If it does, then great. Or the questions that we ask ourselves are, why would this place need an ATM, right? Why would this place need an ATM? If we're at a bar, of course this place needs an ATM. If I'm at a salon and there's no ATM and all I can do is give a cash tip and I got to walk across the street to Sprouts or Fred Meyer's or wherever it is, like, of course this place needs an ATM. If I'm at a barbershop and I'm paying him $5, or $6 or $10 extra for a tip, and it's going on Square, and I'm sliding my debit card or the credit card, and I'm getting a text message, I'm like, okay, this place for sure needs a ATM, right? Obviously, and you know, giving yourself some knowledge on the ATM business, you can kind of, you know, choose some places. Now it's to the point where, like, used to when we just got started, we'd be like, man, you guys need an ATM? We're at a smoke shop or doing something like this. You know, that we place an ATM. We're like, dude, Austin, this thing's done like 6 transactions in a month. We're like, okay, let's yank it. Let's put it somewhere else. And again, we've like, we're not saying we're perfect in this, and we've got lucky. We're saying we've been in this business for quite some time, and in the ATM business, you can obviously, it takes 30 days to realize, you know, how well an ATM is going to do. And so we have placed ATMs where him and I look at each other. We're like, holy smokes, we just made a $3,000 investment that's made us $8. Let's yank this sucker. Let's go out there and make more money, right? Because again, we're in the business of making money. You're not getting into the ATM business to treat it like a hobby. You're in the ATM business to treat it like a business, and having a business is actually going to pay you rather than a hobby actually costs you money, right? So you know, we most of the time we literally power slam locations. Like, at the end of the day, like, we power slam locations. We know we assume the sale. We know we're gonna get the ATM inside of there, and we're so good, and it's a bonus on our side, especially if we're in Arizona or wherever it is. We, 1, ship the fastest, and 2, we can place an ATM tomorrow morning in Phoenix, Arizona. Yeah. Right? Depending on your guys' markets, Shipping takes anywhere from 7 to 12 days unless you expedite it, right? So obviously being able to leverage that, again, it's all negotiable, right?
Yep.
But there's been some situations where like, hey, well, you know, sometimes we have an ATM in the back of our freaking back of the truck, right? And we're like, hey, you know, let us install this ATM. And they're like, okay, like, all right. And boom, we got our contracts there. They're signing our contracts. They're giving us a voided check. And boom, that sucker is literally installed.
Yeah.
Eric's with us. We're drilling this thing to the floor. And we walk out this thing. We're like, holy cow. Like, this literally was insane. You know what I mean? They just got an ATM. They didn't even realize they were getting an ATM. But I talked to the right person. I got the right person. I scheduled the appointment. And boom, that was it, right?
Just like that. I really like this one really quick. If you have multiple ATMs, is it possible to have, or have you ever been able to contract out like a whole fair, concert, or event with like 5 to 10 ATMs depending on the size? And then the answer is obviously definitely yes. You just want to get in contact with the manager, like the event planner or the event manager of that actual event, right? Whether that is like a rodeo or like a state fair, whatever it is. It could be like motocross. We do all kinds of different ones. And then ultimately you would just take your equipment to that place. You would contract that out for like that particular weekend, or you could even do you know, X amount of particular weekends, like for a whole year or 2 years. I guess, again, everything is negotiable, right? There's a lot of money, I will say, to be made doing that. So if it is something that you have, you know, you have some extra equipment on hand, I mean, you could literally make like tens of thousands of dollars in a single weekend. Okay, literally going and contracting out a fair like that, or just having like one or two, you know, at that place or whatever the case is. All right, guys. I mean, you guys have asked some phenomenal freaking questions. We'll probably just go ahead and wrap that up here.
Yep.
Again, guys, if you have any additional questions, all of our contact information, everything's going to be down below in the description. That's pretty much it. Right? We just wanted to get on here, provide a ton of value. Hopefully, you guys got a lot of value from this video. If you did, drop in the comment section down below. Let us know what questions we didn't answer, and we'll make a video on it.
Yep.
Right? And we'll post it right here on YouTube for free. Okay? And we'll give you guys everything that we possibly can. And with that, I would say just go ahead and hop off here. Have a good night, guys.